Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome aboard the Audire Astra for another Genshin Impact stream. Hi, Cass. Hi, Cole. Good to see you here today. Yes, there was a small oopsie during the pre-stream, the loading screen. You guys didn't see anything. It was only for a moment. Nothing bad happened. Nothing was seen. So how's everyone's week been so far? It's only Wednesday, but I feel like it's been a very long week for them. For me, I mean, yeah. I have a headache. I considered not streaming, but honestly, I've decided to just go ahead anyways. Yeah, it's only Wednesday. No, but you could hear it. You caught something? Oh, yeah, basically I just accidentally swapped to my end screen for a second before I swapped it back. So, you didn't really see much. Hi, Ghost. Good to see you here. I hope everyone else has been having a good week so far. In fact, so you stop psychically eavesdropping on ya. Oh, don't worry, Cass. You are not causing my headache. If that headache is too bad, don't be afraid to. Oh, it'll be fine. Honestly, the main reason my week's been long, well, partly is because of work. The other half is because I've been trying to work on the summer alt outfit, and I'm close. I'm really close now. I'm like I can feel it. Like one more push would have something usable. I still got a lot of other stuff to do besides, just have a model. I've got other plans, but it's been such a struggle. But we're finally there. Can we feel it? No. You guys obviously cannot feel it. You will feel nothing until I actually reveal it. It should be a good reveal, though. I'm hoping, fingers crossed. I did a lot of, I don't know about a lot, actually. I did some things that I did not do, so I didn't know how to do previously, I like to try to push the boundaries. I try to do stuff I haven't done before, and also I haven't really seen anyone do before. So I think this outfit is good in that regard. It has some stuff that I've never seen anybody do on a VTuber model, which is, to be fair, not saying no one's done it before, because, it's not like I've seen every VTuber model that's ever existed. At least I can say it's quite rare. Audire, with that improvement, you got the drive, the power. Well, it's not just improvement mindset. Well, improvement mindset is definitely part of it. But new outfits are a chance to experiment with new technologies. I can say new techniques, doing stuff you aren't sure is even possible to do. Oh, dearie, I didn't know which side you are. Saving the children or anti-tank mines? I mean, I don't really care because I'm never going to use anti-tank mines. Imagine using mines. Seriously, imagine mines in Helldivers. Outside of a rare defense mission, so I'm fine either way. I'm curious though if saving the children actually, if there's a secret stratagem reward, I'd probably pick that just on the off chance. So I'm picking saving the children just on the off chance there's a reward associated with it. That's not mines, because the mines I'm definitely never going to use, but whatever the secret is, there is a chance I might use it. You love mines in Helldivers Ghost? Wait, do you play Helldivers Ghost? I don't think I've seen you talk about it yet. Saving the children unlocks the child soldier stratagem. How do you use the mines? How do you use the mines in the way, there feels like there's so few places where it's actually useful. Like the maps tend to be pretty open. There's not a lot of choke points where enemies have to funnel through. So I think like generally the use case is like either you're on a map with like a choke point, or you're running away and you drop the mines on top of yourself and then run away. So anything that's following you has to run through the mines. But other than that, I'm not really sure what you would do with mines that would make them better than just normal stratagems. They're like little familiars that follow you around and attack what you attack. We already have those. They're drones. We already have drones for that. Also, there's no point. Super Earth doesn't need child soldiers. We just conscript adults. Let the children grow up until they're adults, and then they can be conscripted. They're much more effective when they're older. The average survival time will be like 10 seconds instead of 2 seconds. Child soldiers are just a silly idea. Unless you're like, unless you're, oh god, what was the name? Whatever civilization Firefly belonged to in Honkai Star Rail, see, if you stick the children in mech suits, then they're fine. You know, then they're perfectly good. But Super Earth's mech suits are not the best, so... Men, women, and children. Can we make... Don't worry, we can produce war. Well, that's the thing. It's a Super Earth. It's really hard to make children. You gotta fill out a bunch of forms and get permission from the government to do any activities that could potentially produce children. It's actually like pretty hard. There's a lot of bureaucracy that gets in the way. You started Genshin and your first pull was Beto and Novella. I assume you mean Noelle? You have no idea what's happening? They're okay. I mean, they're both usable. I can't really... I wouldn't say they're good. So, okay, so Noelle, I think, is good in the early game. Like, she is, like, a common crutch carry for new players before they have a proper team built up. Because she can shield, heal, and do some damage. And so... before you like get good at the game, you can just use Noelle to clear everything. Do what the US did in Metal Gear, harvest their brains and make them pilot robots. Well, that's what some think the automatons are doing in Helldivers. Beto is great. She's okay. She has, unfortunately, she has release 4-star syndrome, which means she doesn't really, she kind of just hits things with her sword and uses a skill every now and then. No, that becomes useful against niche comms in endgame. I mean, useful is kind of a stretch. I mean, she's not useless. You can kind of force her into working with Farina, but like, if you need a geo damage dealer, Noelle is not your go-to in any situation. Audire, you and I both have an endgame team with her. Endgame? Again, endgame is questionable because, like, she really, like, neither of our Noelle teams can really clear endgame content. Like, I would not bring Noelle to Spiral Abyss Floor 12 because she would not be able to clear anything in a reasonable amount of time. Maybe if my Farina were much stronger, but I don't really feel it. I don't like Farina that much to get her weapon or Eidolons or anything. You cleared 412 if you were to... Okay, so in very rare instances, like if there's a Geo buff or something, or enemies specifically weak to Geo, it's viable. Otherwise, not really though. Beto is mommy though? Ghost! You will find there are many mommies in this game. Some of them, I dare say, may even be better mommies. Just give it some time. You'll find better ones than Beto. Your Genshin team is Alhaitham, Beto, Sucrose, and the boy with water swords, Xingqiu. I guess that... I don't think Beto's very good at Hyper Bloom. That team works. It's sort of like a budget Hyper Bloom team. More than one mom? What? Yeah, Cole. Some people have more than one mom. Love is complicated. I mean, Cole, Cole, every time you in particular describe your ideal woman, you're basically just asking for someone to be your mother. Like every time. So you in particular are one to talk. She may not be good at Hyper Bloom. Oh yeah, Fischl is not good at Hyper Bloom. I mean, if you can get Cookie Shinobush, that is ideal for Hyper Bloom. Hyper Bloom is like that one kid in Doug. What is Doug? I've never heard of Doug before. Yeah, so like I think Raiden and Shinobu are best options. I mean, Shinobu also doubles as a healer, so that's what makes her really good in Hyper Bloom teams, because it frees up a spot for someone else. It was an old Nick cartoon, and one of her characters had lesbian parents. You've never really cared for mommy types though. That's because, see, Cole, you're not like into the ara mommy types. You are into the Cole, clean your room, go study type of mommy. They're different kind of mommy, but still mommy. I have no idea what y'all are talking about. You just started in the Smith said, go get War Kiddo, get the Windtown. You will, I mean, if you continue with the game, Ghost, you will learn. I mean, you need to hit the fourth, yeah, if you need to hit the fourth region to get access to the Dendro element and start doing Hyper Bloom, so you're a fair bit, but if you continue with the game, you will one day understand what we're talking about. Look, you just need to upbeat someone who can motivate. So you want like either a Genki girl or a manic pixie dream girl. You think one thing that is missed that you don't want to be babied, you just need someone to help push you along sometimes? I mean, so here's the you absolutely do need to be babied though, Cole. Like you may not be aware of it. You want a buff goth mommy that is taller than you. Weren't you like 6'8" or something ridiculous, Ghost? I feel like finding someone taller than you is going to be you're going to have a hard time with that. You might have to settle for someone shorter. Goth girls wear platform shoes rather often. It's okay. Tommy, finding a woman who is who's taller than 6'3", even in platforms, you're gonna have a hard time. Okay, if the platforms are like 6 to 8, then they're like, you can't walk in 8-inch platforms, Tommy. Those are not practical to wear. Those are for taking photos, and that's about it. Also, someone who likes to try new things would be pretty nice. Oh, so you need, yeah, so you also need a Genki girl mommy. Just like Cass. Wow, I'm just realizing a lot of you are babies. A lot of you need mommies. What kind of woman you want? Oh, I mean, I think we all know what Tommy wants. Tommy very definitely wants a mommy. You never said you wanted. Oh, no, you didn't. But you said what you want. You described what you want, and you described a mommy. Chlorine. There's a difference between what Tommy wants and what Tommy would actually be happy with. There's a difference here. Men are tough, but sometimes we want cuddles and getting mummed. I think the common trend is like all you guys need someone to, well, not all of you, but a lot of you need someone to make you do things, as you otherwise aren't going to do them yourself. And that's fundamentally, that's a mother's role in a very important way. So when you say that you want a mommy, Tommy, yes, you are different. You just want to be babied. That is, you do not want to be driven to do things. You just want to be babied. You want a different type of mommy. Anyways, speaking of Chlorine, we're doing her quest today, so let's get into it. Her name looks like chlorine. I mean, it does a little bit. Alright, wait. Where am I? Also, oh wait, I have to turn off the BGM. It is still on. Okay. Accept quest.
Huh?
Judgment Day. Oh, hello.
They
Started
look
off
like
right
they might
next to
have run
that.
into some kind of trouble. Let's go check out what's going on.
It's a shame Navia and Chlorine have zero synergy with each other. It would be fun to use them together.
Still no dice?
Not at all. And I've asked pretty much everyone in the court of Fontaine already. Lynette's ears drooped as soon as she heard that we'd have to be out and about for days on end. And Fremine, he hid himself under his helmet as soon as he realized there'd be people around that he didn't know.
What about Chiori and Charlotte? I feel like both of them would be more than up to it.
I don't feel like Chiori will be up for much at all. I feel like
I've asked them already,
Chiori is very
but they're
much
both
the
pretty
don't
busy
bother
right
me
now.
kind of type.
I just gave the members of the Spina a few days off too, so I don't want to bother them either.
This is getting pretty difficult.
I know they're just reusing the same animation for both of them, but this is very funny.
What's up?
She looks French? Yes. Cole, this is the French region. This is fantasy France. So yes, the characters look French.
Oh my. Well, if it isn't my dear partners, how are you all doing?
Huh. Navia?
Huh? Oh, you mean...
France to see? Tommy, you sound like you're trying to invent a new slang term for ecstasy.
Yep, this is our chance.
What are you going to do? We were just passing through.
Oh, precisely. My dear partners, we've got a huge problem right now that only you can solve.
Your nemesis? Alright, Germany and France. I mean, Ghost, the German region is the first. Actually, you're in the German region right
Exhausted all
now.
our other options.
Traveler, Paimon,
Although, it's kind of funny that the German region in Genshin, they drink wine instead of beer.
would you join us and play Marechaussee Hunter Judgment Day?
Is Navia inviting us to tabletop? Is she trying to get us to play D&D with her?
She'll say what now?
It's a new game script by the Tabletop Troupe, a local roleplay adventure club.
Oh, it literally is.
Ever heard of
They're
the Tabletop Troupe?
trying to get us to
They
play
put out
D&D
games
with
that
them.
allow you to participate in a story and role-play characters with your friends. Oh, I've loved their stuff ever since I was a kid.
Isn't it ironic that the Three Musketeers are famous for using rapiers instead of, muskets?
Super interesting.
That's because muskets aren't very good weapons, especially not in small numbers. Like, muskets are weapons you have to group in large, you have to use in large numbers, because you cannot hit the broadside of a barn with a musket.
And when they asked, of course I couldn't refuse. I mean, come on, a brand new script? Nobody has
Windland
ever
is
played it
Germany?
before.
Yes. Like, just look at Venti. Venti is dressed in, like, stereotypical German clothing.
But I think this one is pretty solid. The author
Pre
obviously put a lot
nine
of work into the story.
of the
and the
pre
world
like
building is also quite credible.
1920 variety. So like they got the architecture, they got, well, I guess the windmills aren't particularly German. They got the clothing, and they have the obsession with alcohol.
Oh, whoa. I know I was the one that handed you the script, but some of us haven't read it yet. No spoilers, please.
Anyway, the script calls for a team of 4. Ah, yes. We're missing one final player right now.
Oh my God, Paimon and D&D.
You're saying you'll help us out? I knew I could count on you, partner.
Paimon and the Traveler are kind of a package deal. Is that okay?
That's not a problem. I'll adjust the pace based on the actual number of players and ensure that everyone has a good time.
Wait, no, we need 4 players. We have 2. We have 4 right here. What?
Wanna play? Paimon will follow your lead.
I always help a friend. Yes,
That
let's play
solves our
D&D.
problem. We have our
Gosh, my D&D sessions, I've had so much bad luck.
Manager from the club right
I've been 2 D&D campaigns and neither have
The script
had a
manager?
session in like
Didn't you just say that you gave Claire
over
the
a
script?
month.
The club introduced a completely
Such
new kind
terrible
of gameplay
luck.
for the script. In this iteration, the game master's version of the
Hello,
script is
Cherry.
incomplete.
Welcome aboard.
The
I
script
am
manager
Audire
provides the
Astra,
next
your
part of the
starship
script only
VTuber.
after players have
When your
completed the
world
current list
reaches
of
its end,
objectives.
I will carry you to fairer skies. Welcome aboard.
On top of that, in order to increase player
Where is
immersion,
America Land? There's
the
no
club has
America
created
Land
some of
here.
the story's sets
You wish you
and
could
scenes
disagree,
in
but you
real
got a
life.
lot of points. Exactly.
We'll only know where we should go once the script manager reveals the starting location.
Wow, you're right. Whoever wrote this script really did put in a lot of work.
And it's got a real healthy amount of suspense, right?
At this
I mean,
point, I feel
even
like
the
we should just
GM
make a
doesn't
new
know how the story
campaign.
will end.
Yeah, the
I
main
look forward to
campaign
experiencing it with you all.
in the game I invited you to
Why don't
is
you go meet up with
sea
the
feels
others
like it's
first?
dead in the
They
water.
should
I
all
don't
be
know if
waiting
we'll
at your
ever
door
get
to
enough players
I'll
to
go
have
over
another
with the
session of
script
that.
manager as soon as I find them.
Sounds good.
You left your old game
Remember
of
to
the second
always
after
watch
the
where you're
main
going,
character went
and
into a
don't
small
rush.
corporal group. Wait, D&D, there shouldn't be a main character
say that like
in
I'm 6
D&D.
years old
Every
or
player
something.
characters.
Let me think. What kind of character should I play
Oh,
this
I want to see
time?
what kind of character does
I
Navia
just
have.
hope you'll pick up some useful skills this time. Oh, and stop trying to persuade every animal you come across.
Oh, she's a bard or a druid. Persuasion check. You tried tabletop twice. The first time your DM flaked out. The second time we didn't get to start because we ended up not talking for a month. The DM ended up doing something else without me. Wait, Tommy, are you leaving out the time we did tabletop? Because I'm pretty sure we did do tabletop. Oh, what are you two doing here? Verena and Lenny?
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Yeah, we did Lancer. Oh,
And
you
you
meant
got the
campaigns,
Traveler
I
and
see.
Paimon with you too.
What a pleasant surprise. I assume you'll be joining us for the game then?
She will be a merchant and the traveler will have a medic role. Oh,
Linny,
we're playing a
Farina!
cleric.
Paimon didn't know you were playing too. Are you also members of the tabletop troupe?
I'm more of a
Hmm.
casual member, if anything. I haven't taken part in many formal club activities. Lynette Fremine and I play something similar at the Hotel Bouffe Tété sometimes, but I'm usually the GM.
He GMs for a 2-player
Still,
party?
I'm sure it'll be fun being a player
Wow,
for the first
that-
time. I'm looking forward to it.
That's
Well, I'm
sounds a
not
little
member of the
desperate.
club at all. Clarion simply woke me up first thing this morning, said there was a good script worth experiencing, and asked if I wanted in.
Clorin wakes up Farina, asks her to be in a script, doesn't elaborate,
If you're
leaves.
interested, I can give you a referral. That should give you a 40% discount on membership fees.
Do you have to pay money for this? You have to pay
think I'll wait to
membership
see how this
fees?
experience plays out first, especially when it comes to the quality
I
of the
mean,
script.
Farina
If
lives
it's
entirely off the
sufficiently fun,
taxpayer's
then I'll
dime
join.
anyway,
Do
so
you participate in a lot of tabletop troupe activities, Clarin?
You could say
the only
that.
thing you didn't like
She's
Lancer is the
actually
lack of
one the
actual
few
roleplay.
senior
Yeah.
game masters of the troupe.
Yeah, Lancer feels like the kind of thing that would be much better as an actual like video game as opposed to a tabletop
I knew
game,
about that even when she was still my subordinate.
which they are making an actual Lancer video game, so that feels like the ideal scenario.
Really, just a small hobby of mine.
Wow. Paimon's so used to seeing you be all upstanding and intimidating as the champion duelist. It's kind of hard to imagine you role-playing with a bunch of friends.
Aha, she's a nerd. Nerd. So if we have a problem with any of the rules, do I have to submit a duel request to
Surely
you?
jest. I would never intentionally make things difficult for my players. I maintain a clear boundary between my professional and personal
You feel like
lives.
Farina would probably like
The behavior
D&D?
at court represents the law
Oh,
and
I mean,
order of Fontaine.
she loves putting on a character.
Feelings to the side.
She's very
and grant
good
a
at
fair
it.
duel to all who seek to defend their honor. But in my personal life,
It sounds like
I'm
Games
just an
Workshop
ordinary
paying for any
person.
oof.
Someone who feels anger and sadness, just like everyone else.
I don't know, Clorin. You don't really. Your face doesn't really move much.
I've ever seen you cry. I've seen you get angry, sure, but now I'm wondering
Exactly.
whether you were actually
Farina's backing me
mad, or
up
if
here.
It just looked that way from the outside.
I was probably in work mode during those times.
Is that so? Well, in any case, I just feel like even in your personal life, you don't get emotional very often.
Exactly.
So,
Farina knows
want
where
to
I'm
see
at.
me cry? That might be a little difficult. A show of anger, though.
Oh no.
That
Clorin's gonna
is
get
something I
mad
can
at Farina, and she's gonna freak out.
No, that's not what I meant.
Yeah, I imagine Clorin doesn't cry very often. Farina will be Bard, Lily will be at you for Gore, and Clorin will be... Oh yeah, we already established Clorin's gonna be
I'm
the
back.
GM.
Here, allow me to introduce you to the script manager, Mr. Florian.
Pleasure to
A
meet you all.
rogue. Actually, no way, that makes way too much sense for Linny. A rogue is exactly what I would expect Linny to be.
Wait, are you a champion duelist too, Mr. Florian?
Oh, no. This is just the costume provided by the club. I occasionally play a few of the roles in my scripts.
That sounds like a lot of work.
It's nothing. It's the least we can do to
Bro
give the
is
players
just like
a
an
more
FF
immersive
red mage.
experience. Anyway,
I mean,
allow me to give you a
he's
brief
dressed like
introduction
a
of the script.
stereotypical
This
musketeer.
script was adapted from the real history of the Marashose hunters. You all will play the role of hunters from a bygone era and resolve a series of events unfolding in the capital.
Paimon's not super familiar with the history of the Marashose hunters.
Linny is definitely a rogue. Yeah. Linny, no, yeah, Arcane Trickster would be perfectly for Linny.
Oh, no problem at all. I can give you a brief rundown. So, basically, Marashose hunters were people who dedicated themselves to hunting monsters and protecting the city by using a special swordsmanship technique passed down over generations. Their story can be traced back to the ancient Remurian dynasty, as well as the first hunter, Cassiodor. But I'll leave the finer details for you to seek
Oh,
out. and
hello,
discover
Cookie.
later.
Welcome aboard. Good to see you here today. He did choose sleight of hand
I'll
for his
provide additional
character.
commentary as the story
I
progresses.
can't imagine why. But Linny, the magician, would do that.
Case? Brave hunters, are you ready to set out on an unknown adventure?
Whoa, just one sentence and it's like we're in the story already.
Uh-huh. I see
I don't
many a
know,
determined gaze
Tommy.
before
I feel like you tend to
Very well.
like
Head over to
machines
this location and
more
begin your
than
heroic journey.
nature. I know you talk about like you go, you like to go on walks and like
As we follow the
experience nature,
story,
but you
it
don't
leads
like
us
actually
to
like
specific scenes.
learning about it.
Sounds pretty innovative. What does the message in the envelope say?
It's the exact location of the scene, as well as the formal
Oh wait,
permission
so
to use the venue.
is this more like a
Seems like we have
LARP
everything prepared.
than
Please check all your
Tabletop?
belongings, everyone, and make sure you haven't forgotten.
Sounds good. Hunter?
because it's like they're talking about getting like costumes.
Ready.
Oops. Yeah, I keep thinking Clorin de Zilan and just using her skill to travel, but it's not very good. Her skill's not very good at that. You forget, like, it's not about what characters you like, Tommy. It's about, like, what you usually tend to like to be an expert in.
Take it easy.
Continue? Oh, even further away now. Like, Tommy, name 10 plants that aren't foods. Oh. I need to collect xenochromatic crystals for Glorind. There is an unofficial artificer
They really
subclass
have
about
thought of
guns.
everything. Even the Phaetometer is here and ready to go for us.
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, I'm sure there's an unofficial
Phaetometer.
everything.
What's that?
Also, trick question, all plants are... No, that's definitely not true. There's definitely plants that are
It's a
not
card that's used
edible.
to determine action success or failure. We'll need to use it when we
And
Oh, so they use a
what about
card
all the
system
deserted
instead of a...
tea? Is that for us as well?
Oh my gosh,
That's what the
that
message
looks so
said.
good.
Oh, really? That's so nice. It feels just like a tea party with friends.
Those snacks have Paimon's name written all over them.
No, bad Paimon,
I
bad
think you might be
Paimon.
more of a snack hunter than a Marashose hunter, Paimon.
Snack Hunter Paimon reported for duty. If there are delicious snacks to be found, Paimon will track down every last one.
The desserts are great. But
Someone put a
I'm
leash
still
on
looking forward to
Paimon
the
so that
story
she
more
doesn't
than
eat all of
anything.
them.
Very fair. First,
They're
please
French.
pick up
They
the
love
blank character
sweets.
cards in front of you and write down your name and profession.
But your last D&D, you was just Huo from HSR. Oh, did you have like a ghost possessing your tail or something?
You can find an abbreviated version
That
of
would
the
be an
rules
interest-
on the back of your
Oh.
character card. If you have any questions,
That
feel
would
free
be
to
an
ask me.
interesting D&D session to have, where you're just trying to like create like gacha characters or Star Rail or Genshin characters as much as you can within the D&D system.
In this story, everyone
IDK,
is a
but you can
Marashose
imagine
hunter.
Fremine being a huge
To
nerd.
reflect this,
Oh,
the club has prepared a
Fremine
small
would
pass for everyone.
absolutely, he would love this. He would just despise the part where he has to like meet new people. But like if he's playing with friends, he would be obsessed.
Ooh, nice.
As hunters, you have proficiency in swordsmanship and fighting by default, so there's no need to allocate any additional skill points to those areas.
Swordsmanship? So there's a fighting part to all
Dandelions, daffodils, ferns, redwood trees, Venus flytraps, roses, crabgrass,
Paimon can just
thistle bushes, buttercups, goldenrod, lavender, lily pads, lotuses. Okay, Tommy, you proved me wrong.
Why don't you share a character card then? The traveler will be the Marashose hunter, and you can be her little floating assistant.
Huh. Kind of like in real
I
life.
was just about to say that, just
So,
like in real
for the
life.
name, do I fill it out with the name of my character?
Yep, it can be any name you like.
Wow, I would have just said seaweed, grass, and then given up. See, that's what I would. That's the what I
do that whenever I
expected.
get too lazy to think of a new name.
Expected Tommy to just do a cast there.
Oh, so it would be like experiencing a different life, but still as yourself. That's not a bad idea.
In that case, I think I'll continue to use the name Linny.
Oh, we're using the
Next up is the
same
skill
names.
sheet.
I hope we get a cutscene showing everybody dressed up as their characters.
The more points you invest in a particular skill, the easier it will be to pass associated checks.
I'll take persuasion and investigation. Those are must-haves when it comes to missions like these.
Oh, those skills sound like they'd be useful for gathering intelligence. Good idea, Navia. Just as expected of a veteran player.
So should we
Those
also
are
take those
important.
skills then?
No, for me, we all pick
Since
different
we're working
skills.
together as a team, we could leave the For example, I think I'll take stealth and sleight of hand. That will give
Yep,
us more options if we run into any situations we can't
That
negotiate our way
the
out of.
spy/magician.
Oh, interesting. I wasn't thinking about it like that. I suppose it's not so different from an
But in the
acting
shorts, the DM would
Everyone
occasionally
has
give the
their own
players
role
a
to
condition.
play.
I'm not sure why the context was cut out. Oh, you've been recommended some comedic D&D shorts.
Let
One
me
of the ones
see.
shot a character get haunted by the
Okay.
last thing he killed,
Arts and performance.
which happened to be a
I'm not
clown
quite sure
called...
what this will be, but
I
I'm
think
not
I
as
know which
knowledgeable
shorts
about
you're
the other
talking
skills,
about,
and
Cole.
I am not too confident I'd be able to roleplay them well.
Oh, thank you for subscribing. I vote Cherry. Oh, Cherry. Thank you for the sub. Welcome aboard again.
Well, that leaves us. What do you want
I
to learn, traveler?
I wish there was an easy way in OBS to actually show who's subbed. I have to wait for it to pop up on the YouTube, and then I have to expand it so I can actually see what it was. The boat horn honked. It's actually the mothership sound from Command and Conquer 3. It's not a boat horn. Oh wait. That leaves us. What do we want to learn? Cooking, medicine, and insight.
Ooh,
I think
so you're
medicine's the
helping
most
one
useful of those
intern.
skills.
That's nice of you.
Insight,
Oh, something
probably.
that'll help you to read on other people's thoughts. Sounds useful. So what do you think? Are you sure you want to learn these two skills?
Let's see.
Wait, do they actually matter here?
Oh, looks like you each have enough points to choose one final skill.
You've all picked such
You wonder what
classic
Audire would
skills.
be?
It's fine to go a
I
little bit out of the box,
usually
you know.
play. So my favorite class is Artificer, but
I get the feeling she's getting ready to cause trouble.
oh
For
boy,
example,
Navia.
this one here. Summon. Doesn't it sound super mysterious and cool?
What are you up to,
I saw that
Navia?
one just now as well. The description says
Oh, was
this
it?
skill can be
I usually
used
play some
under
kind of
certain
caster.
circumstances to summon
Um,
characters or
let me
creatures
think.
that fit the
Yeah,
script's
so Artificer,
world-building rules.
Sorcerer, Wizard. I've never actually played a wizard before, but I would like to try playing a wizard. Played a warlock. What else have I done? I played a bard once. I didn't enjoy playing the bard very much. I didn't really get to do much.
But how are we supposed to know what a Marashose hunter can summon?
Oh, that's not for us to worry about, my friend. Just learn the skills that interest you, and the GM will take care of the rest.
Audire is the alchemist and brews healing potions. Never tried out. I don't actually like alchemy much. I hate chemistry. In fact, chemistry is one of my most hated subjects.
Well, now that everyone's more or less finished creating their characters, we can begin.
Linny can slight his hand into you.
Since two of our players are doing this for the first time, though,
Tommy,
let me
you are
ask,
very down bad today. I mean, you are down bad every day, but
would you like to play
slightly
on
more than
easy
usual.
mode or authentic mode?
One of your favorite characters you played was a Yasoki rat alien operator
What's the difference
in
between the two?
Starfinder. Social democratic.
Well, in
You played as a
role-playing,
socialist,
the
Cole?
story
You, of
sometimes
all
changes
people?
based on the decisions of the players and the results of the fatometer. For example, if you fail a check, that means you cannot use the target skill in that scenario. A critical failure may even
I
result
need to
in
know
further
who in the
negative
Genshin
consequences.
writing team is a
If you choose
D&D
to play in
fan.
authentic mode, every time you elect to use a skill, you'll need to use the fatometer to see whether you succeed or fail, and face any consequences that may follow.
Yeah, you played a bard once and got bullied so hard in game you're never playing bard again.
If you choose
Yeah,
easy
I feel
mode
like you
instead,
really need to
every check
know
will
what
be
it's like. If it's
successful
a
by default,
combat
and you
heavy
won't have to
campaign
worry
and
about
you
luck
pick a
playing
bard that's like spec'd into persuasion, like you're going to be very unuseful. The random checks. Place a card. Oh, instead of a D20, it's a C20.
Given that I'd like to focus on the story, I
No,
suppose
like literally
I should
social. It's the
pick
commercial.
easy mode.
Okay, but
I'd
what's
feel bad
democratic
if I
about
brought
it?
the team down by failing my checks.
Huh? Oh, come on. Don't worry about that. RNG is the lifeblood of role-playing games. I'm going with
Oh,
authentic mode for
this
sure.
would be
Never knowing what you might have to overcome. Ugh, doesn't that sound
Okay,
exciting?
so this is definitely a setup for the actual
I'd
role
rather be
for the player
mentally
here.
prepared for what might happen.
All right, then I'll mark down Farina for easy mode. All her checks will be successful by default. As usual, Navia and Linny will play on
Okay,
authentic mode.
imagine if this was actually a
What about
mechanic.
you two, partner? How would you like to play?
Yeah, this is purely for the benefit of the player. I'll pick authentic mode. I played Baldur's Gate 3. I can deal with some bad RNG.
Trust me, you'll see the beauty
Hello,
of
Mr.
RNG.
Krabs. Yes, that echo. It's because I'm from space.
Honestly, I don't think Clorand would make things too difficult for us, no matter what.
And
the
you know,
Phaeton
everybody
says.
echoes in
Isn't
space.
that right?
No promises.
He was Char, a rat chef who went adventuring to cook with more ingredients. He was the equivalent of a greasy dinner chef. Oh, you mean diplomat?
Well,
Oh,
anyway,
social
enough
diplomat
talking.
class. That makes a lot
Let's
more
get
sense.
started. I want to experience at least a good chunk of the story today.
Because social democrat
story,
has a very
Why
particular
is the
meaning.
beginning scene on a beach?
Well, that's because. A long time ago, back when human civilization was still in its
Oh my
infancy,
gosh.
powerful demons and
Oh my
evil
gosh.
sorcerers ruled
We're getting
over
the
land.
custom
They created
PNGs.
a host of monsters and sent them to slaughter all humans in existence. Soon, a group of human rebels banded together.
Okay, we're
With
we're
their
not
swords
exactly.
raised, they
What is
swore to
happening with
brave
that
the
crab? Is
darkness,
that
and
crab
in
supposed to
doing
be
so,
there?
subdue each and every
I feel like
monster
it's not
that sought
supposed to
their
be there. Why is
destruction.
that crab there?
They became known as the Marachose Hunters.
Oh my gosh. We're going in full on custom everything. Oh my gosh.
Sometime later,
Did the.
as a member of the Marachose Hunters, you
Wait, no, this
receive
is
a
just
commission.
Mondstadt, isn't it?
Following the address provided on them as you inhale, you can
Yeah, this
taste
is just
the
Mondstadt. I was like,
slightly
oh my
salty
god,
air
did they
of the
reuse?
docks
Did
as
you
you
actually
begin
create
to
a whole
survey
new
your
region for this?
surroundings.
No, that's just Mondstadt.
There aren't many people in the vicinity, but your eyes meet, and you realize these people are fellow Marachose Hunters.
You're all Marachose hunters too, right? Allow me to introduce
Aww.
myself. The name's Navia, monster hunter by trade and helpful neighborhood businesswoman on the side. What say you to traveling together? We can help each other
I mean,
out
I
on
like
the
her
road.
at. I like her better at. She's kind of. This is like steampunk. This is like steampunk Navia.
Count me in.
Oh, they're all steampunk. This is just like a steampunk world.
My name is Linny. I've been wandering since I was little and picked up a few less than legal tricks along the way. I was adopted by a
Lenny, is that
Marachose
the kind of
hunter
thing you
and
want to
later
just
chose
announce to
follow in
everybody?
his footsteps.
Is this where you introduce your
Also-
character to everyone?
Lenny and Navi. Okay,
Sounds
you
like
could.
they've done
You
this
could.
dozens of times.
You could like write lessons about how to introduce your character in in tabletop.
My name is
Based off
Farina, and
what just happened.
I
Oh, yeah,
grew
she
up
is a
in
bard. She is
noble
a
family. I
bardy
always
bard.
had a strong interest in performance and the arts. Even though I'm a Marcia Say
Considering
hunter,
what the Mara
what
shoe
I
set
really
looks
want
up.
is to be a
Yeah, good point.
performing artist.
Oh, wait, Farina's actually not very steampunk. She's actually just bard.
Hey, that's really cool. You can do it, Farina. That's exactly how it's done.
Paimon is Paimon, a good friend and companion to this Marachose hunter right here.
I like this outfit more.
I've been studying medicine ever since I
Oh
was
my
a child.
gosh.
I want to do my part to eradicate these monsters.
Oh my god.
and
Oh,
use
she's
what
just
I've
a
learned to
doctor.
heal others.
We just have a doctor traveler here.
Oh, welcome,
Dr.
welcome.
Lumine.
When we face the monsters, I'll make sure to charge in front to give everyone some cover. You can take care of the healing at the back.
You open your envelopes at the same time. The message reads, "To the honorable and trustworthy Marachose Hunters, our kingdom is currently facing a grave crisis. The lands outside the capital have been overtaken by monsters, and our people are being led astray by forces of wickedness. We beseech you, please help us resolve this crisis and return peace and stability to our home.
I like Chlorine. Chlorine basically just looks the same. I mean, she's got like a different outfit, but it's the same style. Like this could totally just be a different outfit Chlorine wears in her normal life.
Looks super familiar.
Oh my god, Paimon's actually calling it out.
The scriptwriter must have used a real-world city as a reference when coming up with the map.
I think that's actually pretty common.
As experienced hunters, the layout of the city reminds you of places once traveled. You recall the sight of tree-lined streets and the gentle tranquility of days gone by.
Does that mean there are other outfits for the other skills?
Yet, as you regard the city in
I
front of you,
think the outfits are
appears
kind
to
of
be
just
little
being made
more
up on the
than an
spot.
empty shell. Its hollow gates are open
But no,
to
I
you,
think
beckoning you.
I can't
actually I don't know.
every line of the
If you
letter
if you
and turn
don't
my
pick
attention to
medicine,
the signatures at the
would you
bottom. Who
get
issued
a
this
different
commission to
outfit?
us?
Like if you just pick cooking and insight?
You see a long string of unfamiliar names. It would seem that many of the residents of the city issued this commission together. They
In that case, why don't we take a walk around the city and see if we can learn anything from the local residents?
Oh, good idea. We might be
Aw,
able to get some
Farina's
leads
so
on the
cute in
monsters
her
and
bard
bad guys we're
outfit.
after.
You look up and see a tavern
Watch,
nearby.
oh yeah,
It
Tommy's
appears to be
Discord
open for the
server.
day.
Why don't we go check out that tavern? If the novels I've...
One day I'll launch my own Discord server. One day,
As you approach the tavern,
maybe.
you find a plainly dressed woman standing nearby. She appears to be rather troubled about something.
It is a secret? Tommy's server isn't secret.
Greetings, friend. Lovely weather we're having today, don't you think?
Oh, hello. I suppose you're right. The weather today is
Oh my
quite
gosh.
lovely.
Lauren's
Only
really
those
good at
monsters
voice
would
acting.
stop causing trouble.
It seems like every character included in the script has a certain amount of useful information to offer.
Oh hey, we get
Asking questions.
we get Farina's schizo again.
Oh, come now, don't be sad.
The Farina within.
Life is all about optimism. Oh, that reminds me. What did you have for breakfast this morning?
Maybe if you suddenly blew up, that would be nice. Probably never gonna happen though.
I don't think that's the kind of question we're supposed to ask.
Nothing turns a frown upside down like good food. How about some macarons? I could make you some.
You didn't even take cooking as one of your skill proficiencies.
That's not necessary, miss.
Navi is not very
Excuse
good
me
at
for
role
saying
playing,
this,
is
but
she?
You don't really look like a chef. Besides,
So you're someone who barely smiles and doesn't like sweets. You're really starting to remind me of this one friend of mine.
Oh, poor Chlorine.
Hey, did she just...
Oh my god, Navia, you're so stupid. She's so stupid. She's got 2 brain cells.
Chlorian must have broke character for a second.
This isn't getting us anywhere. Traveler, maybe you can think of something.
I'd like to do an insight check to see. Yes, insight check.
insight checks aren't disclosed to the players.
Alright, let's see if I roll.
All the lessons you've learned in your time and begin to carefully observe the woman's
Where Audire
mannerisms.
server? It's not open yet.
You notice that when she's quiet, she has an empty look in her eyes, as if her thoughts have drifted to a place far, far away. And when she speaks, she often subconsciously
She made it and then never decided to make it cut public. Yeah. I didn't want to open up a Discord server and just have it be dead all the time, like most VTuber servers.
So you noticed. That's
That would
a
just be like
coincidence.
sad. It's like an embarrassment.
A horde of monsters suddenly appeared near the capital recently. so all the guards were dispatched to fight them.
Navia is one of those players. Chlorine
Do you
did
remember
suggest
when
that
those
Navia
monsters
might be
appeared?
trying to cause trouble.
I'm not completely sure. All I know is that my husband was dispatched to fight them 3 days ago.
Do you know
Ah.
It all happened so fast. When we said our goodbyes, he couldn't even tell me where they were sending him.
You have our thanks, friend. We'll find and defeat those monsters as soon as
Well,
possible.
it's gonna be kind of
We
hard
sincerely
if we
hope
don't
your
know where they
husband will
are.
be able to return to your side soon.
This is
Thank you.
not a
Don't worry.
not an
We'll
easy
find
mission.
Just try to remain optimistic and wait for good
Hello,
news.
Maho Anaki. Welcome aboard. Good to see you here today.
We don't always get to choose what happens to us.
Also,
but we do
Cole.
get to choose the
Well, I
little
think
things
Cole
like
is referring to if there's a lot of people
how we
in
respond
chat,
to the things
it would
life
be
throws
hard
our
to
way.
keep up with
I
what
hope
he's
that one
saying.
day, you too will recognize the power of something as small and inconsequential as a delicious dessert.
Again,
I'll do my best. You bid farewell to the woman and continue your journey further into the city.
Navia is a little. She just loves macaroons a lot. Oh, we're actually gonna we're actually gonna fight. Oh my gosh.
As you venture further into the city, the streets appear largely
This is so
empty.
different.
An elderly woman walks past. You see her shake her head as she puts away her wrinkled wallet. A nearby merchant folds his arms and gives you a disdainful look.
This is a
You get the impression
terrible
that he's
team
someone who has
composition,
long
though.
gotten used to the sight before him.
I hope we don't actually have to fight anything with this party.
Although he doesn't seem very friendly, merchants are usually a good source of information, right?
Pardon me, sir. I'd like to ask a question if I'm...
That depends. How much are you willing to pay?
We actually had Chlorine try to do the
What do you take me for? Some lowly beggar? You can't even buy half an onion with that amount.
Surely an onion can't be that expensive, right?
What do you know? War's nearly upon us. Everything costs several times what it did before. If you're not gonna buy anything, then scrap.
Navia does a little bit troll. I don't even know. I don't think. So Navia doesn't seem like the kind of person to troll deliberately to me. I think Navia is just like. She just does what she wants and doesn't think about consequences.
But he still might have information we need. Traveler, can you think of
She's a
something?
dum-dum. She's got 2 brain cells. Persuade him,
Sir,
Navia.
We came to this city to solve the very problem you seem to be referring to. The war you mentioned, would it happen to be against the monsters outside? If you happen to be well informed and know a thing or two about what's going on, we'd appreciate
Alright,
it if you
Navia,
could
let's hope
share
you
that
roll high
information
on the
with us.
persuasion check.
After all, the sooner this problem gets resolved, the easier it will be.
17? That's pretty good.
Well, things are basically
We
as you
don't
said,
we don't
young
get
lady. Those
we don't
monsters
get
are
pluses
camped
or
outside the city.
we don't get
And they've been
bonuses
destroying all
apparently
our
in this.
trade routes. We have limited reserves within the city, so if this can...
Wait, you're saying no one has put a plan in place to distribute supplies or maintain order?
We could all starve and those nobles in the palace wouldn't even break a sweat.
I guess Navia would not Navia. Farina would know a
Who
thing or
knows?
two
Maybe they've
about
been in cahoots with
administrative
the monsters
tasks.
all along.
That is concerning.
Navia is coming off as a person who wants to hang out with her friend, and her friend likes D&D, so she's gonna play it with them.
All right. That's all the information you need, right? Off with you now. I've still
I
got
feel like this was actually Navia's idea though.
You know, if you smiled a little more, you'd definitely get more business. And I bet that would make your life just a little
Navia,
bit sweeter.
what are you doing?
I'm not
Keep your
saying
mouth
it's
shut.
guaranteed to work.
You do not tell people. You don't tell grumpy people to smile a bit more. Okay, that conversation ended. Never do this. Okay. Just-
Should we try to go somewhere with more people?
I know when extroverts
How about the
do
city
this, they're
square?
they're trying to be helpful, but believe me, you're not being helpful. Do not tell
Before
grumpy
you rise
people
the
to smile
city's
more.
central square, you see a man with a slightly anxious
Hello,
look on his face.
Gaglardimaru. Welcome aboard. Good to see you here today.
Low.
I am Audire Astra,
He
starship
doesn't seem
vtuber.
to notice your
Welcome.
approach. Still immersed in his own
Navia
thoughts,
Dum Dum,
he
but
shakes his
she
head
is.
and lets out a long sigh.
She's so stupid. I love her.
This guy seems promising enough.
She's just a
Maybe I can
chaotic
get some
little
information out of him.
gremlin. Actually, reminds me of a
Hello, sir.
Nemi.
Is there anything
With
I can do to help you?
chaotic gremlin likes to dress up in fancy outfits. 2 brain cells. That would get Navia canceled on the Twitter.
Oh, wait, you're...
I don't. I mean, I don't know if that we get her canceled specifically. Although, I did actually see a tweet on this topic, just like complaining about being told to smile earlier today. So that's actually very topical. I would try to find it, but you know, finding tweets that you didn't like or bookmark on Twitter is impossible. So I'm not gonna try.
One of the people who wrote the commission letter?
Yes, yes! Oh, I didn't expect you to actually come. Oh, what great news! The city is saved!
What happened here?
I mean, isn't telling people to smile more like harassment?
Alas, we once lived
Can
comfortable,
be.
carefree
I
lives.
don't think.
This
Well,
city
first
used
off,
to be free
that
of
was
monsters.
Navia
First Marashose
talking
Hunter,
to a
Cassiodor,
male
the Golden
merchant. So
Hunter. He was the one who drove them back.
if the gender was reversed, it could come across as sexual harassment.
However, monsters have once again surrounded the city. Perhaps the seal that kept them at bay has lost its power. Or perhaps an evil
It's
sorcerer has
it's
been
just
meddling in our affairs.
something that really shouldn't be said in general,
All I know
because
for sure
if someone that isn't smiling, right,
Not enough soldiers to drive
they have a
them out?
reason to be.
It's not a question of numbers. The guards simply have no idea how to deal with them. Most people my age have never
I
even
only looked
seen
at my
one of the
follows tab.
monsters, much
Well,
less
it
been
wasn't
trained
a.
to fight against
It
them.
wasn't from one of my follows,
What's
so.
worse, many of us don't even know the history of the Marashose hunters anymore. When I was a child, though, my grandfather would tell me stories about how the Marashose hunters drove back the monsters. So, on the off chance that something might come of it, I decided to reach out to you.
It's a socially inept thing to say, to be honest.
Perfectly honest,
I.
I was starting to
It's
think all
a
the
very
stories were just tall tales.
extroverted thing to
But
say.
now that I've seen you in
Like,
person, I
Navia's
finally know
not
that it was true.
socially inept. She's just a very happy person.
The righteous
And
formidable
happy
Marashose
people
hunters are on the
sometimes
The man is
have
touched
trouble
by your
understanding why
determination and
other
resolve.
people are not happy.
His eyes begin to well with tears of relief.
Still, if we are going to hunt the monsters, we need to know where to find them.
All I know is that the area outside the city is dangerous. I'm afraid I can't point you toward a specific location.
Also, I feel like Clorin's voice actor is like definitely doing her young boy voice here.
Although, if
You know
leave
how
the
young
capital
boys
for
are
the
always
main
voiced
gate and
by
follow the road,
adult
you
women?
should run into a
This
group
is
of
definitely
guards.
her young boy
They might
voice
know more
here.
about where to find the monsters.
I see. We'll go look for them then.
All right, be careful.
That's the thing, though. You can't think of a single social situation that telling someone to smile more would be a good choice.
Are just part of the problem.
I mean, Navia's intending it as like genuine advice.
So
Like,
be on your guard.
let's be, it is genuinely good advice for a merchant to smile. People are more likely to buy
You're actively working
from
with the
someone that
monsters. Have
seems
corrupted the
friendly
court
and
ministers
happy.
with malicious magic. They're the reason why, even inside the city,
It's like any kind of
everything's a
advice.
giant mess.
If you're giving advice to someone who is receptive to advice,
One of our kindest
it is a
ministers
good
turned
thing.
into a boorish and
Trouble is,
unreasonable figure.
unsolicited
Interested
advice
in
tends
nothing
to
but
be
enacting laws that
unwelcome.
exploit the people. Who knows how much longer
So
we'll be
you
able
have
to
to
go
really
on like
know
this.
who you're talking to.
Talk about being
If it's
stuck
like
between a rock and a
talking
hard
from
place.
a successful merchant to a less successful merchant who,
I feel bad for him.
you know, is having a
Maybe we should
rough
try
time
to
of
cheer him
things and is open to advice, which I guess Navia is actually playing a merchant in this scenario. So that's also so that is kind of she's like
Not everything can be solved
you
with
could
food.
consider it in the context like, hey, advice from one merchant to another.
I
This
appreciate your kindness.
smiling, I find
Now,
that
it's
smiling
more
really
important
helps
to
me sell
focus on the
stuff.
crisis at hand. Brave hunters, I leave the future of this kingdom to you.
Ash Ketchum moment. Wait, what's an Ash Ketchum moment? Is telling people to be happy?
If I understood correctly, there are currently 2 problems.
That's why you try to hide how you wish the customer wasn't there. Yeah, that is a good thing to hide if you're
We need to
in
defeat the
a
monsters
retail
outside
work.
the city and take down the evil sorcerer stirring up
That's
trouble
why
from within.
they always want the cashiers to smile, right?
But which problem should we tackle first?
Well, this seems like a good moment for a break. Take some time and
I really didn't expect the people in the city to keep us at arm's length like that. I totally thought the hunters would be treated like
Oh,
heroes.
time for some out of character discussion
Good
here.
to cues from the real history of Fontaine, right? Maybe the real-life Marushosei hunters were also treated like that.
I wouldn't say
people
it's a
have
perfect
lost hope.
representation of history, but there are definitely some similarities. Would you
Sure.
Boy
As long as it
voiced by
doesn't
old.
spoil
Chlorine
anything in the
isn't
script.
old.
You brought up bits and pieces of the hunter's history before, but it was all in passing.
Paimon wants to know too. The hunters
I
were
doubt
super
there's
powerful,
any
right?
non-immortal
Were they all from a
character in this
special line
game
of
who's like
supernatural
over
beings or
30.
something? Kind of like the yokai in Inazuma?
No. All Marashosei hunters were ordinary mortal fighters. The only thing that set them apart were the special sword techniques passed down over the centuries.
Huh? So you mean anyone could become a Marushosei
A lot of cartoon characters are voiced by older weapons. Oh yeah. Oh, Ash Ketchum.
In theory, yes.
I mean, yeah, no, that's
All
like
you
the
would need to do is
standard.
survive the rigorous training
It's
and master
much
the sword
easier to get a
required
adult
to fight the
woman
monsters.
to sound like a young boy than to get a young boy
Still,
who
most people
actually
dropped
is
out
good
of
at
the early
voice acting.
stages, and others called it quits the minute they saw a monster in
And
person.
also, just child actors in
To
general,
become
there's
a hunter, you
tons
must
of
be
problems.
strong
Like,
in both body and
they gotta
mind.
go to school, they got homework, they got a bunch of other time obligations
Oh, and
that they
the
can't
evil
drop.
sorcerer the script mentions. Did they
Unlike,
exist in
you know,
real
an
life
adult
too?
who can just act full time.
The land of Fontaine once played host to an ancient dynasty
So, like,
known as
obviously,
Remoria.
if you're,
After
you know,
that
a
dynasty
producer,
fell,
you will want
monsters
to
began to appear.
you prefer
intent on
adults
obstructing
over
humans from establishing
children
a
whenever
new social
possible.
order.
And not just
One of the
also because,
ancient
you know, children are
sorcerers,
immature and
Remoria,
hard to
used his
direct.
power to assemble a formidable army of golems. He sought to use that force to establish himself as king.
Now, wait a second. Don't tell me that guy was the inspiration for the evil sorcerer in the script. We still haven't found any in-game information on him yet. So, why don't you talk about
Navia
someone else
doesn't
for
want the
now?
spoilers.
Well, I wasn't planning on going into anything you might be able to find out in the game. But if you want me to talk about something else, then how about Casiodor? The
Oh,
golden
are we
Origin, the
getting some
ex-Hunter.
Fontaine lore? The deep lore?
But those people are all from a super long time ago. Where did you learn all this, Claran?
From my master.
Oh yeah. Why? Yeah. Shouldn't Farina know something about this? Like, I mean, I know she was never the real Archon, but you'd figure she would have learned a thing or two about the previous Archon that
You
she was
mean
taking over
Miss
for
Petronia?
at some point.
Is someone you know?
Absolutely. Miss Petronia and my father were good friends. Back in the day, she would often bring Clorand over to play, but
Chowder has like one example at the top of your head where it's a kid voicing a
Let's
kid.
not get off topic.
I did not know that.
Anyway, responding
Then
to
again,
Echiria's
I don't
call,
really pay
a
much
number of
attention to voice
warriors followed
actors,
Casiodor into battle against the
unlike
monsters.
some
This group of
people.
warriors, under
Cough, cough.
Casiodor's leadership, became known as the Marashosei Hunters. Yet, as Fontaine entered an era of peace, their work gradually became obsolete.
I see.
Some of the most fun I had
That
at DA
explains
was
why
actually
most of
talking to the
people in
DM about the
script
world.
have forgotten the
Ah, right, your
hunters
other
or
friend.
Think of them as nothing more than a legend.
You,
Is that really a bad thing, though? It can get tough always being the one shouldering everyone's expectations.
You seem like you would enjoy world building, Cole.
Depends on who you ask, I suppose. If the name of the organization no longer commands respect, investigative work is bound to suffer.
It's really easy to tell where everyone's perspectives are coming from,
Speaking of
given their
investigations,
backstories.
Which problem should we tackle first? Monsters or evil sorcerer?
The monsters feel like the more pressing concern at this
I vote
point.
monsters. That's the main duty of the hunters, right? We can come back to the sorcerer later.
The monsters feel like the more
Well
immediate
said, Miss
threat.
Farina. Plus, if the sorcerers really are the masterminds behind this whole thing, defeating the monsters could give us some clues on their intentions as well.
What
You
about
hope you can
Harper?
run it against
What do
something.
you think?
Eidolon? Oh, I've never heard of Eidolon before, actually.
It's decided then.
World building has literally been your hobby since middle
All right.
school. I mean, you
After
never
some
talk
discussion,
about any
we
world
decide
building
to
you
turn
do.
around and head out of the city.
So I guess it's a former hobby in your case.
Let's take a look around, like that guy said.
You there, outsiders, halt!
Who's there?
An armored man approaches you. He has a tall, muscular build and a determined expression in his eyes. Just one look, and you can tell although he's trying
He's a
his
local
best
soldier?
to conceal his current state, his uneven gait
Ah,
and the sweat
okay.
dripping down his forehead make it obvious that he's been wounded and is in serious pain.
You just learned
I'm
that
the
people
captain
don't
of the
really
guard.
like learning
I
about
saw you
worlds that they
sneaking
can't
around the
actually
city earlier,
engage
so
with.
I'll only ask this once. State your purpose, or it's off to the dungeons for the lot of you.
I think it depends.
Wow, it's been a while since someone's been this suspicious of us.
I said talk, not whisper between yourselves.
It's not been that long. We were in Inazuma. Oh yeah, I guess Inazuma was a while ago. Never mind. I guess it has been a
Have you
while.
ever heard of the Marchese hunters?
Marachose hunters? Ha! That fairy tale, you mean? What, do you expect me to believe you're one of them?
Florent's voice actor really does have a lot of range. He's really showing it off here. I'd like to do a medicine check to see if I can help him. 14. Oh, the DC's there. Okay, so DC's at the top. The font is really weird and kind of hard to read, though.
Using your knowledge of medicine, you're able to deduce that the injury on his calf was a monster's doing.
You have
And the
stands
wound
and
has
fight other
already
dudes with stands and
begun
build
to
bonds
fester.
with. Oh, so it's
As
just
you check
JoJo's
him
Bizarre
over,
Adventure?
I'm a doctor
The
by trade.
tabletop?
Please let me redress your wound. You don't have to suffer like this.
The man appears somewhat disgruntled at having been exposed, but soon relents and raises his leg for you to take a better look. He allows you to apply a poultice of specialized medicine to the wound, and it appears to bring him much relief. The tension in his brow eases. All right. Guess you lot might actually be real Marachose hunters after all. In any case, you've successfully treated my wound. So, what do you want to know?
I like how she put on a British accent just for this
We can
guy.
find the monsters or the other guards who are fighting them?
He informs you.
He
of the
kind of wanted
various
you to stop
locations
telling
where
him about
monsters
the
have
world he'd
appeared.
make. He was incredibly
He looks
disappointed
in
to
that
get hooked
general
into a
direction
world
with a
story only to
vague
find out it
gaze,
doesn't
as if
exist.
thin,
Well, that just means you gotta
invisible
actually
thread
write
pulling on
it,
his wound.
Cole.
Some of our new recruits have never even dealt with a petty thief, and now they're out there fighting
He used to work at a
monsters.
local game store and people would never stop talking about their campaign
For
was.
this cursed leg.
Yeah, I can imagine. If you're a DM and you're coming up with custom settings,
Oh,
I can
please,
imagine you'd
don't
want to
get too
talk to
worked
it
up. You need
about
to
it.
focus on your recovery. Just leave the monsters to us. We're
Hearing you say that, a glimmer of hope flashes in
Like
his
I
eyes.
wouldn't mind talking about
It
my
disappears almost
my
as quickly as
settings.
it came. Those monsters aren't easy to deal
And
with.
world building.
But if you insist on going, I won't stop
That's a
you
lot of
either.
effort, though. Presenting those things in
I
like
just hope all the guards will
a
be able to come
coherent
back
and
to their
attractive
families
manner
alive. I
is
wish
really
you the
hard,
best of
though.
luck.
Based on what the captain said, the monster should be right up ahead. Let's go. Hopefully we're not too
You
late.
need to do more world building. Ami, what is... Your lore is just real life,
As you
isn't it?
approach
Like,
the battlefield,
how much world building do you have to
numerous
do?
people lying by the side of the road.
Like,
They appear
it's
to be
just
dressed
real
like
life
guards.
with lane boys.
Their faces are filled with desperation and terror. Some are screaming and cursing in vain.
At least
as
you
if
present
still
yourself
trying
in
to
a
banish the
coherent and attractive
monstrosities they
manner.
saw from their
Thank you,
minds.
Tommy. Go further in. Who's fastest? I
A
think
few of the wounded look
Navia
up in
or
shock and
Linny
disbelief.
would be... I think Navia would be faster. She's like tall. Yeah, I thought Navia's tall.
They yell.
Also, wow. I never really realized it, but Linny is short. He's a small little boy. Like, Linny feels like he should be more mature than Navia, but Navia is actually like uses the adult woman, even though she feels like a teenager. I can make worlds and characters like there's no tomorrow when it comes to putting flesh to those bones, you blank.
Broken iron swords
Well, that's why you
scattered all
gotta
around you,
try,
and
Cole. You,
downed trees
you gotta
riddled
practice.
with terrifying claw marks. All the signs
Lenny
point
is
to
twink
one
bait?
thing.
Yes, he is extremely twink bait. He is the twinkiest twink in this game so far. Oh, who just subbed? Ah, Gagla... Sir... Gaglamaru... Gaglardimaru. Sorry, it's going to take me a while before I master that name. Thank you very much for subscribing.
The monsters might still
Welcome
be around.
aboard. Audire, do you speak any other languages?
Before you can finish your sentence, you hear rustling sounds from
I
the
speak a
surrounding
little
bushes.
bit of Chinese
The
and a little bit of
monsters have
Spanish.
They close in on you without
English is
fear.
definitely my
You
main
get
language,
the
though.
impression that, in their bloodthirsty eyes, you're just another meal for them to devour.
Oh, do we actually fight them?
Little help here. This thing wants to eat.
I want to
Battle
see
round begins.
Are we going to have to
Now.
fight in the game, or are we going to fight with the cards? Are we going to have to roll for damage? We're rolling for damage. Oh boy. Oh, but it's a simple DC. I suppose it just means we win. Oh, never mind. No, we actually have to fight with this. Oh gosh. We have to fight with this awful. I don't know how to use Lenny.
The next battle round begins now.
This is a very bad team composition. Okay, I guess we're just so overpowered that it doesn't matter. It's okay.
Terrifying roar of anger and resentment
It was not a difficult fight.
before dissipating into thin air.
Would definitely not take this team into Spiral Abyss.
Thank goodness it's over.
We're lucky the Marashose Hunter class
Swear at
carried
us
all
in
those preset
Chinese.
skill points. Otherwise, we would have been in some real trouble.
Tu madre.
I never
Yes,
knew
I know
to
that
be
was
taller
Spanish. That
even
was a joke.
determines the amount of damage
That was the joke.
If you get unlucky, isn't it just game over right then and there?
That's part of the fun. The uncertainty of fate is what gives these
Insert that
games their
one
appeal.
TikTok of the Chinese lady shouting mean things at the viewer jump cut with vengeance.
Just as you begin to
She's just
celebrate
shouting in
victory,
English,
a
though.
suspicious lump on the ground catches your attention.
You are ugly.
A suspicious lump. Wait, could it be the thing that appears after every
Fuck
battle?
you. Yeah, that was just English, Tommy.
I walk up to it, crouch down, and begin to carefully examine it. I've still got my right glove on, so it should be fine for me to touch it, right?
But Navia, your character isn't wearing. I guess she's sort of wearing gloves. Your character, like you are wearing gloves, but your character has exposed
As you
skin.
investigate the mound, you discover that the
You can't
exposed
do
portion
that.
appears to be made of wood. It was previously obscured by the large form of the monsters. With the monsters gone, the small protrusion now awaits your discovery.
Yeah, Tommy.
Like a
She,
shiny
I mean,
flower.
the caption says in Chinese, but she's just saying English. Akio, you are ugly.
With everyone's help,
Go
you
away.
successfully excavate the wooden chest from the ground.
Genshin characters have such fancy. Genshin characters have fancy
Tell
everything.
from the mora and jewels scattered around the chest that it must contain quite the fortune.
Aren't those English loanwords?
Sense. We worked hard for this. Let's
Do you
open
mean
it
like
and share with some
borrowed
friends.
from English into Chinese, or borrowed from other languages into English?
I can understand your excitement, Paimon, but think about it. Doesn't it seem like there are people out there who need this treasure more than
No.
us?
No, you can't turn down treasure in a D&D game. What?
Yeah. Think about all the
Are
people
you
suffering
kidding
in
me?
the capital. Or all those guards who got hurt fighting the monsters.
No. Okay. They are not true loot. They are not loot goblins.
Is that how it works? Paimon thought since we were the ones to dig it up, we could just take it for ourselves.
So the traveler here feeling very sheepish about just opening every treasure chest she finds out in the wilderness and
Well,
taking
let's
everything.
put it this way. Any decision you make during a role-playing game can impact the future course of the story.
Oof, sorry, I had to sneeze there for a moment.
But would the people really believe us?
Paimon is
It's
an
hard
actual loot
enough for
goblin.
us to prove we're
Paimon is a
hunters.
snack goblin. I don't know
What
if she
if
cares
they
about
think we
loot though. She has no
procured the
use for
treasure
loot. She doesn't
illegally?
actually
They
fight or do anything.
Might get even more suspicious of us.
That's definitely something we should consider. Maybe we can come up with an explanation in advance.
Well, if donating it could cause that much trouble, why don't we use it to buy some gear and fill up on good
Of
food?
course,
Then we'll be
Paimon,
ready to
just
fight
all
even
you can
more
think
bad
about
guys.
is food.
Looks like you're facing a difficult choice once again.
Oh yeah, I guess Paimon does talk about treasure too.
Well, it's getting late.
Wow.
I'm not sure if it's because I'm having so much fun with you all or because the story is particularly enticing, but I feel like I could almost keep going.
Here, here. Ooh, how about we play through the night?
Sleepover! Well, except we're on a beach and nobody brought anything to sleep in.
Oh, I'm not
Yeah,
sure
Farina.
I'll have energy for that.
Yeah, that won't work for me either. Lynette will give me an earful if I get home too late.
Yeah. Navia doesn't have a job. Actually, wait. Farina also doesn't have a job.
I understand how you feel, Navia, but we have to change venues for the next part of
Clorin
the
has an
story.
actual job. Clorin's like, I gotta go to work tomorrow. I got
There's a
people to
special
stab.
gem at the end of this section that says to proceed to an indoor set for the next part of the script.
Whoa, they really pulled out all the stops for this new script.
Well, even if we end the game for the day,
Tommy, can you stop simping for 5 minutes?
Paimon wants to hear more about the history of the hunters.
You would make scrambled eggs for her
Tells me
breakfast?
You just want to finish the free desserts before we break for the day.
Tommy, what is that even supposed to imply?
Okay? Besides, to Paimon, not finishing free food feels even worse than having to buy your own.
I'm gonna disagree with that. I'm okay with not finishing free food.
And
Actually, I'm
Paimon
kind of okay.
really does want to hear more about Cloran's
I don't like eating food that I don't like, whether or not it's free or whether I spent money on it.
Well,
No, it implies you'd be her housewife. But the story doesn't have a happy ending. It's okay to not to finish it.
It's nothing. I appreciate the concern, but it's all in the past. It won't do any harm to share.
Wait, we're finding out about Clorin's history here? Wait, what? Did I miss something? How did we get on this topic? You don't want to go to work tomorrow, Cole? Same.
My earliest memories are of living with Master. According to her, she saved me from certain people of ill repute. My
Aw,
birth
she's
parents
an
had left me behind
orphan.
sometime before that.
Taught me wants to scramble her eggs, though. Yeah, that's what I figured.
Story.
It was some kind of joke
Master was a fascinating individual.
on that.
Inexperienced in the ways of raising children. My first ever toy was a short sword. Although I suppose it wasn't so much a toy as something Master removed from her waist and handed to a noisy child in need of distraction.
Oh, wait, so she handed an actual sword to a child? Isn't that dangerous? Did you hurt yourself?
You can't give a sword to a child. It's educational. What if she hurts herself? That will be an important lesson then.
Of course I did. I cut my palm and bled quite a lot. But Master was not concerned. She
Literally.
just stood there and casually lectured me about it. See, that's what you get for not holding the sword properly, she told me. She then crouched down next to me and said,
Educational.
I'll teach you to bandage this wound. After that, it's time to learn how to truly hold a blade.
Excuse me for asking this, Clorand, but how old were you exactly when all this happened?
Anybody who understands that reference I made is truly a man of culture.
Around, 3, give or take.
3?
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that when most kids are still struggling to hold a fork?
As I said, Master was rather inexperienced in the ways of raising children.
I
She
mean,
believed
Clorin
trial and
turned out
error was the
alright.
best way to teach a child what they're capable of.
Her master clearly, didn't skimp on the nutrition.
I'm not so sure this is a question of experience.
What reference? What was the reference?
I didn't see anything
It's
wrong with
okay.
the ways at the time.
You don't have to know.
And anyway, children don't get to choose
Oh,
how they're
there's
raised.
a.
Oh,
So
she
the,
did
like, you
bring
can't
back
give a
a
child a
heavy
sword.
appearance.
It's
Was a skilled
educational.
bishop hatchling.
What if she hurts herself? That will be an important lesson then. Again, if you understand, if you get the reference, you are a man of culture.
A Geo-Bishop hatchling? For a pet? That seems even more dangerous.
What she said was this: make sure to get along, you two. If you really can't agree on something, just settle it with a fight. Whoever loses is the real pet.
And
Ow.
how old were you when this happened?
5.
Well, did you win?
No, I lost.
Aww.
So you're saying you actually became the Geo-Bishop's pet?
Yes,
Pet
but
Clorin.
only for a week. By the end of that week, I defeated it in combat.
Aw.
And we've shared a cordial relationship ever since.
Pet toddler Clorin.
That really doesn't sound like the kind of childhood someone should have.
Later on, I gradually understood that Master most likely didn't know any other way to raise a child. She was a Marachose hunter, but I never heard her bring up her own parents.
I mean, Chi-Chi is a child and she's a zombie though.
Thanks to her, I learned how to navigate.
She's
the
not like
forest by the
still a
age of
child.
6.
Actually, we
I
don't
could
know
hunt
for sure that
monsters in the
Chi-Chi is a
wild by
child.
myself
She
the year after that.
could have been
Even though the training she subjected me to
just a very small adult.
she always made sure to take me traveling when she had the
But she's
time.
also a zombie. Like, she's
We met
mentally,
many of
she's
those
not a
those
child.
days. That was also how I met Mr. Callis and his family.
I
Did you
still
hear that?
remember the first time we met.
She's a
You were too
zombie.
scared to join our
Cole.
picnic and hid behind Ms. Petronia the whole time.
I still hadn't really met many children my age at that time, so I didn't know how to interact
Seriously,
with
you
others.
literally just meant you cook for her?
After that, though,
Okay,
you
but
started
why
having so much
scrambled
fun.
eggs in
You
particular,
loved challenging people
Tommy?
to shooting competitions, remember?
Why? You don't
I don't
even
think many
eat
members of
scrambled
the
eggs for
Spina ever beat
breakfast.
you in
You're
one
like
of
a
those.
you eat oatmeal like a boomer.
I had a lot of fun during those days.
I enjoyed them too. Oh, do you remember that one time we went exploring around the Spina together? We overheard Papa call your master Fontaine's Protector of Justice. We tried to pretend like we never heard anything, but you nearly let it slip that one time.
Scrambled eggs are one of your favorites. You usually just don't feel like you have time to cook.
Justice. Oh, wait, you mean
You didn't
that
feel like
vigilante hero from 20
Tommy,
years ago?
you don't work
one who
most
would
of the days of the
always
week.
have at
Why do you feel like you don't have enough time to cook?
Yep, that would be her. She often would put on a black cloak and go
Oh.
out at night.
So
I never knew if
Clorin's
she liked what
master
she
was
doing.
Batman. That makes her
Until, like Mommy
Robin.
said, we overheard the
She's
truth
just
from Mr. Callis
Robin.
that night.
She was an orphan adopted by Batman. She is literally Robin.
20 years ago, huh? I still remember the guards leaving all kinds of witness reports about her on Nervalette's desk.
Ah, my apologies.
Oh, there's no need to apologize. You had nothing to do with it. And anyway, everything she did was for a good cause. Although,
Not
calling
enough
herself
time on
the
work days. Usually
protector
don't
of
feel like it on
order
off
was a
days.
bit much.
So you
Especially
just
when
don't feel
she
like it.
deliberately operated outside the law.
Huh? When did the Protector of Justice become the Protector of Order?
Oh, she had a bunch of code names. I heard she would just come up with a name on the spot whenever she was asked. Later on, she probably got sick of answering those questions and decided to stick to just two. The Protector of Justice and the Protector of Order.
That sounds like
So
her,
she
all
was a
right.
total
I
chunie.
bet she forgot which of the two she'd use by the time she got back each night.
Like often you wake up annoyingly hungry so you
she
can just pick
certainly
something
sounds
quick.
like a fascinating individual with her strong sense of
Uh-huh,
justice.
and it
It's
ends up
no
being
surprise
oatmeal.
her student followed in her footsteps.
It's true. I always wanted to become like her. Someone powerful, independent,
Probably do an
and with a
omelet.
strong sense of conviction.
Omelets are good.
But
Omelets are one of the few things my hospital cafeteria can actually make reasonably
suddenly
well.
disappeared the night I turned 10 years old.
Disappeared? What happened?
I have no idea. She didn't even leave a note.
Oh, are we gonna be able to find
I
out what
celebrated
happened
my
to
birthday
Clorin's
at Nami's
master in
house.
this quest?
But Master never came to pick me up. When I returned home on my own, when she still didn't appear after a few days, I went to Mr. Callis's house to ask about her whereabouts. But he only shook his head.
Also, I love hash browns.
Papa probably
Hash
didn't know
browns
either.
are
I know he
amazing.
sent a few people to investigate the matter in secret, but
Don't worry, I understand. To be perfectly honest, given Master's personality and way of doing things, it all made a lot of sense. If I had to guess, I'd say she probably used it as an opportunity to force me to become independent.
Or she just died.
Just like how
She was in a
when
pretty
litter of
risky
kittens
line of
reach a certain
business.
age, the mother willingly leaves them behind.
Were you
Damn it, you're
upset,
hungry now
Clorin?
and it's always almost 10 p.m. Understandable. We are talking a lot about food.
But not anymore. I don't believe Master would suddenly disappear for no reason. There must have been something she just had to do.
Well, despite everything, you still managed to follow in her
Hmm.
footsteps and become the greatest champion duelist in all of Fontaine. You're practically a living symbol of law and justice.
Actually, I hope we don't
I suspect
meet
my position
her
would be
master in
far
this,
too
because if we meet her
by the
master
books
in
for
this,
her.
that means
Master always did
they would
whatever he
just be
pleased.
an NPC, and that means and I would like her to be a playable character.
I wonder if Clorin's master were the champion duelist back then. Would that duel against Mr. Callis have gone to
Probably not for Arena.
Oh no.
Mr.
Judging by
Callis
the
wasn't exactly a good
atmosphere,
fighter.
Clorin and Navi are probably thinking something similar. The mood just got super awkward all of a sudden.
well, anyway.
Who do you want to be put?
Would you look at
Florin's
the time?
master.
I had a
It'd be
great
cool
time
if
today,
we
Miss
met her and they
Clorin.
were actually a playable character.
The script was good, but I've got to say, hey, you should tell us more about that fight against the Geo Bishop sometime. Maybe your master was onto something.
You could be right.
What does she mean onto something? I certainly don't know any 5-year-olds who want to fight a bishop in their spare time. Guess I'll head back as well. I need to save my energy if I want to continue enjoying the story tomorrow.
You're that excited to hear about my fight with the bishop?
I was talking about the script.
Also, how are we doing on time? Oh my gosh. If the next section is as long as this one, we are not finishing this today. I don't even close. Actually, yeah, let me turn this on. And we have to activate the Paimon. Wait till tomorrow at 8? Was it AM or PM? I forget. We'll find out. I think Lauren here is more a common writer without anything cool about them. Ouch. I'd say there's something cool about... I think I'd say Clorin has some things going for her cool-wise. Where'd that crab go? That crab was definitely here earlier, wasn't it? I saw the pickup for the crab thing just momentarily, but I guess it's gone now. Also, wow, we have to go to the other end of Fontaine. Also, I'm astonished this is all the Fontaine we're getting before Natland comes out. This Fontaine's really small. Like, consider the size of Sumeru. All this is Sumeru. And just Fontaine just basically just fits on one screen. It's kind of amazing. You figure they would it seems like there'd be a lot of room back here to add more stuff. Wonder what they're gonna do with that. It's got a lot of underwater, but yeah, compared to Sumeru, it was yeah, I mean, even because if you think about it, like, so this is the original Fontaine area. Then we had like the one expansion up here. And then a second expansion here, and a third expansion here. Like, let's see, because in Inazuma, these were the original. We had like expansion. I guess it's a similar number of expansions. I guess. Similar, we had this, and then we had this. Okay, you know what? So they both got 3 expansions. Fontaines are just smaller. But we also know they can eventually revisit the regions and add to them, so it's not over. Oh, we're going in the domain?
Looks like everyone's here.
You think the not Japan region
Now,
is pretty
before we
small
begin,
too? Everything's
why
just
don't we
spread
finish where
apart?
we left off
Oh
yesterday?
yeah, I mean for sure. Like in terms of actual land area, Inazuma is very small.
More concerned about our heavy walls,
But
cold railings,
Inazuma is also
dim
very
lights.
dense in
This is obviously
terms of
supposed to be a
I admire the work put into the
content.
set. Still, it's obvious the scriptwriter has never paid a visit to the fortress of Maripede.
So this set is going to be a part of the script?
Unfortunately, that is something I...
Anyone think Cloran's smile is starting to look kinda scary?
Well, whatever happens, we'll just have to push
D&D and
on.
BDSM
But
dungeon.
first, we should really figure out
Ooh.
what to do with this treasure. If we're worried about arousing suspicion because of our identity, why don't we give ourselves a different name, just like Cloran's master did?
When Tommy gets thrown in jail, we can also throw him in a cage in real life.
Doesn't matter who we are or what we're called.
Just, you know, help him roleplay a little bit better.
Staring at me won't get you anywhere. Or did you want some more tea?
Oh, Paimon's good. Thanks. Why aren't you saying anything, Navia? Wait, What's that next to you?
Oh, this is the short sword Cloran mentioned last night. I found it.
Huh. I'm surprised you managed
Wait,
to track
how
it
did
down after all
Navia
this
find
time.
that? Did you go through
Well, I made
Clorin's
sure
stuff?
to take good care of it, considering the circumstances in which you gave it to me. Anyway, where were
It
we?
was a gift.
Oh, right. I was just thinking about all the potential ways for us to break out of prison. We could dig a tunnel.
But why are we in prison?
Wait, we haven't been thrown into prison yet, have we?
Well, it's only a matter of time. It pays to be prepared. Just like how you should always have an umbrella on hand, even when it's sunny.
Alright, Paimon's made
I
up
mean,
her mind. Let's just give the treasure
No,
away.
Navia, parasols generally aren't made for
May want to
actual
keep it, but if
rain.
it's going to land us in prison somehow, Paimon will be too upset to enjoy her snacks.
Turns out Paimon cares more about snacks than treasure. Paimon's developing as a
Reached an
character.
agreement? All right then. We can continue with the story.
Oh, and we'll collect all the scattered pieces of treasure on the ground as well.
All right. You collect the treasure and make your way back to the capital with your bag of loot in hand.
Are we actually going to get thrown in jail over the loot collection? Come on, that's just not fair. We found it fair and
The
square.
city is still shrouded in a gloomy, oppressive atmosphere, but your spirits are surprisingly high.
I mean, it's not surprising.
Places where
We found
sunlight
treasure,
struggles to
didn't
reach,
we?
You generously share your wealth with the children, the elderly, and the poor in urgent need of help.
No,
you,
we're just
kind
giving
soul.
it
The
away.
elderly woman's look of gratitude follows you as you walk away, her eyes never leaving your back until you move entirely out of sight.
This one had
She's
what?
probably trying to tell us to speed this up. We need to hurry.
Should we go find that man again at the square? He seemed like a pretty...
Oh, good idea.
Just as you start to make way to the square, intent on finding the man again,
Something seems to be on the verge of happening. Clorinde is making a check. Oh yeah, we're about to get arrested.
please wait, distinguished guests.
Uh-oh.
Several strange guards suddenly call out to you. They run forward to meet you.
Greetings, gentlemen.
Okay, this doesn't look that
Sure,
bad.
Jest, my lady. That would not be our place.
Oh,
it is His
wait.
Excellency the King who requests.
Oh no. Oh, I see. We're pissing off the nobility by giving to the poor.
Do you think this could be a trap?
Well, we have to investigate the court at some point, right? Meeting the king himself would be a fantastic opportunity to do that.
I say we go for it. If something happens, we'll just turn the whole place upside down.
I don't think you want to fight the entire kingdom, Navia.
After a quick discussion, you nod
Navia is
to Gladys
defi-
and agree to follow.
Yeah, Navia is...
all the way to
Nemi.
the audience hall of the palace. Gilded
She is the
tables
F
line
around
the
and
sides of the
find
hall.
out type.
The space itself is adorned with all manner of expensive antiques, glass shelves, and silver candlesticks. The items appear quite ordinary in size and
Sasageo,
dimension,
Sasageo?
yet their
I don't know what that means.
Wow, it's so luxurious.
The elderly king, clad in a magnificent robe, sits. He wears above his head a majestic crown, with a gemstone the size of a bird's egg set right at the very front. As you observe it, you see a complex pattern of light reflect off its surface.
Is that
They're here, Your
significant
Majesty.
or just...
A man dressed in dark
Is the
clothes,
gemstone
like
significant
the
or is it just for
shields his
flavor?
mouth with his hands and bends down to whisper a few words to the king. After a moment, he
The
lowers
king
his
is just
hands
Clorinde.
and stands back up. His gaze shifts to fixate on your group, but he does not move from his place at the king's side.
Navia does seem... So she's not a murder hobo in the sense. She doesn't want to kill everyone, but
The king does not appear
she is,
aware of his surroundings. The man by his side, though. We should keep a close.
The king remains still. And says
definitely of the mindset that we can just fight our way out of everything.
Esteemed guests, allow me to thank
Do,
you for
are
coming
we,
to
do we
our
have a
faraway
Theoden of
kingdom.
Rohan situation here?
Unfortunately, His Majesty the King finds himself quite exhausted from work. So please allow me, his Prime Minister, to welcome you in his stead. I've heard tell that your group, the Marechaussee Hunters, used your
It was a com-
exceptional
Oh,
ability with the
okay.
sword to repel the monsters near the capital. Such a great deed deserves to be rewarded. However, seeing that I was not fortunate enough to observe such a feat with my own eyes, you'll forgive me for seeking to verify the truth by speaking to you myself.
Well, we've got nothing to hide. You brought us here to talk, right? So we'll just explain what happened.
Yes, we're explaining it.
Golem's blades were so powerful, they could cut down trees in a single swipe. It took a lot of effort to defeat them, even for trained swordsmen like us. Well, there was enough details, right? Believe us now?
Does indeed match those of the survivors. Since you were the ones who defeated the monsters,
Yeah.
must mean
Yeah.
you're also in
The
possession
Prime
of the
Minister,
treasure they
he's
stole.
not happy we gave away the
We did
treasure.
take the treasure, but
How did he know about the treasure?
Then I must ask that you return it at once. It belongs to the kingdom.
Wait, but didn't you just say that our great deed deserved a reward? Shouldn't the treasure be considered a part of that?
Yes, that was indeed what I said. But you seem to have forgotten a very important distinction. Only that which is freely given by the king can be considered a reward. Taking the rightful wealth of a kingdom without said permission, on the other hand, is a crime.
Wow.
Completely unreasonable.
What a jerk.
yeah, that makes
Yeah, we found it.
sense. For us, the treasure would still be buried underground somewhere.
Maybe so, yet the fact remains. You tried
I
to
mean, this
dispose
is
of
also
the
very
treasure without
realistic.
reporting it to the court
This is-
and without
this is-
receiving permission.
This is exactly what would happen in real life if you found
What,
valuable
no
treasure.
answer? Surely you're not insinuating that you, a group of legendary Mara
The whole I can just take treasure I find for myself thing is very definitely just a gameplay convenience.
Just gonna let this guy talk for him the whole time?
Clad in his magnificent robe, the king remains.
He's
seated,
rich, all rich people
with
are
his
jerks
hands
unless one of them
resting
wants to
on
date
either
you.
side of the throne. His posture is rigid and unmoving. He stares forward.
The gemstone in the crown. We have to break the gemstone. The gemstone is mind controlling him.
From the look of things, could the Prime Minister be the evil sorcerer? Or could both
Isn't this how countries actually treat fun?
have fallen
Exactly.
into the evil sorcerer's
Everything
control?
you find is going to belong to someone.
I would like to
Like
observe
if
the
if
number
you
of
discover
guards
treasure
stationed
on
in the hall.
someone's land, it will either belong to whoever owns that land, or it will belong to or it's public land and it will belong to the country, or you can actually track down
The
like
guards
a
of the
legal
palace appear
ownership
fully armed,
of
their expressions
who
solemn.
owned it,
Sensing
who-
the tense atmosphere in the room,
the treasure that was
they
originally
stand at
buried
the
there,
ready.
and
There
they would
goes
own
my
it.
plan to turn
One
the
of
whole
those
place
three things
upside
would
down, I
happen.
guess.
But in real life also,
Appears we
if the
visited
country
right the
decides
within a group of
that it's theirs,
ill-intentioned
the country that it's in
imposters.
decides that it's theirs,
What a pity.
it's gonna be
Guards,
theirs.
Take them away and throw them in the dungeons. Before I decide your fate, however, I must first determine whether you have any accomplices outside the court.
Oh, you found a chest of emeralds in a sunken Spanish. So shipwrecks in particular,
Start some kind of riot?
yes, shipwrecks belong to the nation of the ship
Try to fight the guards right now.
that the nation belonged to.
Don't worry. At least we figured out who's behind all this. Let's just play it by ear.
Aw, thanks, you guys.
So there are specific laws that revolve around shipwrecks in particular.
You allow yourself
Because
to be led away by
well,
guards
in
surrounding
international
you on both
waters,
sides.
anyways, I think if it's in a country's territorial waters, I think
When you begin
it's
to feel drops of water
anything in the
falling from the
country's
dungeon
territorial
ceiling,
waters will belong to that
the
country.
stench of death and decay all around you, that you finally realize you've stepped into a completely
Yeah, you'll
different
tend to get a reward for finding it.
Stay here.
It just,
and
you know,
don't
won't be the
try
full
anything
value.
fun. The guards
The
lock
point
the
is,
cell door
you can't actually be
without looking back.
a RPG loot goblin in real life without
Your
consequences.
voice echoes through the dark hall. But the
All
only
right,
response
Linny.
you receive is
You
the
put
sound of
points
water
into sleight of hand.
from the
Time for you to do some lockpicking.
What should we do now?
Carve out a new path of fate with our own two hands, of course. I draw my weapon.
You reach toward your waist, but find nothing there. You now recall that your weapons were confiscated before the guards
Yeah,
locked
I
you in the
mean,
cell.
they would
The
not
bag
be
of
very
treasure
good guards
along
if
with
they
them.
did not do that.
What about that knife I hid in my boot?
When did you hide it in there?
When I was thinking about digging a tunnel.
Rejected. You failed to inform the GM of this course of action. Moreover, the guards would have conducted a thorough search before throwing you in prison.
And the keys to the cell aren't anywhere to be seen?
Correct. You don't even feel a lock
Well,
hole on
Liddy.
the cell door.
Oh, there's no lock hole.
Oh,
How did they lock it then?
there goes all our plans.
Oh, good night, Cass. Thanks for stopping by.
Indeed.
Huh? Why are you the one saying indeed?
Because that statement holds true for me as well. This is where the script ends.
What? But that's a terrible ending!
Oh, that's a short second day, huh?
Generally speaking, this should be the point where the scriptwriter gives the players some kind of hint.
Do we not actually
Or give
get
the
to
GM.
finish this
I
campaign?
mean, maybe they just really wanted us to be immersed in the feeling of being in prison? Like, they'll only show us the way out once we've grown truly in.
That is a possibility.
If only there were desserts and tea in real prison. Oh, wait, guess that's kind of how the Fortress of Meripede works if you're lucky.
Oh, before I forget, Navia.
Oh yeah, there totally is in real prison.
I took a closer look, and the craftsmanship doesn't appear to resemble anything from this era. If I remember correctly,
Oh,
that style
wait a
was
minute.
last in vogue
Is
several
Clorin's
hundred
master
years
gonna
ago.
turn out to be someone from the Hexen Circle?
Moran said that sword used to belong to her master, right?
She's actually an
Does that
immortal
Her
Batman.
master has been alive that long?
Do prisons still just feed people bread and water?
I doubt it. The
No.
way she went about things often made her seem
Like,
childish more than anything.
I mean, it's still
I'd say the
not
sword was
good
most likely an
food,
heirloom
but it's
passed down over
not,
time.
bread and water.
Hang on. A precious heirloom passed down to you by your master. And you gave it to me just like that? You weren't worried I might lose it?
Master left many things to me when she disappeared. There was the sword, an old key, and a good amount of junk she probably just didn't want to take with her. I gave you the sword back then, because I didn't want a
Prison, yeah,
friendship to
it
end.
also depends on the prison. Like, it's probably that white collar prison is pretty good.
When did this
Like,
happen exactly?
the food in white collar prison can be pretty decent.
After the duel. Between Mr. Callis and my...
Before that, Clorand would have meals with us after the duel, though. There was a period of time where we simply didn't know how to face each other. She entrusted this sword to me, and never came back. We were both sad, and conflicted, and totally overthinking everything as a result. Whenever I looked at this sword, I couldn't help but wonder. If Miss Petronia had never introduced us to each other at that picnic, maybe part of the sadness I was feeling could have been avoided. Back then,
Aw.
it felt like I hadn't just lost a father.
But also, like, Miss Petronia, there's going to be there's some kind of deep lore involved with her.
No one can
Like,
change
she's
the
not just a
past.
random,
The most important thing is that
hero
you two
of
found your way back
justice.
to each other and can
she's not just a
enjoy things
random
like this
person really
together.
good with a sword.
Yep, you're right.
I'm sorry.
Dang, they get
you
their own
two.
prisons.
I didn't mean to bring up
Oftentimes,
any
yeah. So there would be like some special minimum security prisons for criminals who commit
Think nothing of it.
non-violent
No one here is at
crimes
fault.
or
Huh?
stuff like that. Which, like, so they're not technically speaking white collar prisons, but they're just if you for a very low probability of violence.
Oh,
You want to get in good, you need to collect
looks
it from.
like the next part
Yeah,
of the script is here.
like, do you guys remember like Martin Shrekley, the pharma bro who got thrown in prison for committing investor fraud after,
Perfect
buying
timing.
some drug and
The
jacking the
situation was
price up by
really
like
starting to get
5,000% or
desperate.
something?
And
Like,
not just
He was,
because of
I mean, he was
everything.
doing interviews saying, oh yeah, prison's not so bad because he got sent to white collar prison.
From Claren's face, Paimon really can't tell if it's good news or bad news.
Water continues to drip from the ceiling. In this
There's
lightless
state prison and
dungeon,
there's federal.
you lack a
Yeah.
reliable way to tell how much
And
time
generally,
has
the
passed.
minimum security prisons tend to be a lot nicer.
Eventually, you get used to the unpleasant odor of straw, mold. Suddenly, you hear footsteps outside the door.
Heads up, everyone. Someone's coming.
Gather close, everyone, and keep your voice down.
Oh, we're getting some help breaking out.
Who are you?
I work as a guard in these dungeons, but my true identity is the same as your own. I'm also a Marashose hunter. Shh. I've already
I
sent away the
mean,
other guards.
see, the getting in a good prison, like everything else, getting in a good prison requires being rich.
I understand, but how can we be sure we can
You gotta
trust
commit rich people crimes to get into a good prison.
The king has issued a formal decree. In light of the irrefutable proof of your crime, you're to be executed before tomorrow's sunrise. If you want to escape, it has to be now.
Yeah, federal is really, yeah, white collar federal prison is,
Executed?
that's where it's at.
Barely did anything.
monsters appearing at the same location as the treasure? Could this entire thing have been a trap?
There will be time for speculation once we're out of here. As for my identity, I have no way to... Infiltrating the capital was difficult, and finding a chance to speak with you has taken a lot out of me. I could go on, but I
Execution?
think we can all agree that now is not the time for details.
What is that a reference to, Tommy? So why can't you be rich? Because you weren't born rich. And you didn't get lucky in life.
Have you seen our weapons anywhere, sir?
Oh,
Don't worry, I brought them with me.
that's what you were
Just
referring
behind
to.
the door. Still, his faction is too powerful. The guards are all under his control, and he's even stationed a number of golems in various rooms throughout the palace. To defeat him, you must find a secret vault. It is said that within that vault, the Marashose hunters of the past left behind a treasure
Robbing a
with the
bank
power
can
to
sometimes
defeat the
land you in
sorcerer.
Fed because you just take that seriously,
coming
but
with
you did
us?
for someone you know. You have
No,
You
I'll remain in the dungeons to
apparently
deal with the guards. I'll
have
try my best to
colorful
distract them
connections,
so they don't
Maru.
go after you. As long as my identity is not revealed, I'll be able to aid you.
If you want to land in federal prison, you want to be very careful to break only federal crimes and not state crimes.
In that case, please stay safe.
Thank you for your concern. I will do my utmost. As for the location of the vault,
Another
Here,
reason why
this map
white
should lead
collar
you there.
crimes tend to not land in prison because a lot of states often don't pursue financial crimes unless you're like New York.
Got it.
all right, once I open the door, remember to stick close and refrain from making any noise. I'll lead you out of here as quickly as possible.
You could still get lucky. Maybe you'll marry a well-off doctor or something. Good luck with that, Cole.
You now have the chance to restore the honor and legacy of the Marashose hunters. So please, get out there and reclaim what's ours. And be sure to
With the help of the guard, you successfully escape the dungeons.
Also, Tommy, you did this quest, right? How much do I have left? Because I don't feel like we're going to finish this today. Doesn't feel like we're anywhere near the end here.
Chance to use that cool summon spell.
That is a pity, but we can only continue to move forward.
That summon spell's going to be significant at the end, isn't it? It's totally a Chekhov's gun. Like, it's so much a Chekhov's gun that they actually had to remind us that we had it. So we didn't forget it. Where am I going? Oh, do I have to fight these?
Everyone hold hands.
Quietly now. Game's up. Time over. Time to
In
test
30,
the
40
vault.
minutes top.
Into the shadows.
Okay, you know, I'll just do this next part. And wrap up then. And so next time we can finish this and then we can use whatever time we have left to do finish up Chiori's quest too.
Should be the place marked on the map.
This bit of rock certainly looks
'Cause
suspicious.
we have two, they'll give us 2 half quests to do.
I'd say an investigation's in order then.
You just blow it up, Navia. Your character does not
You
have
really did
explosives.
that.
Before you lies a serene stretch of open water. Its
How?
surface shimmering a brilliant shade of
How did we blow it up?
Time for a swim!
Okay, we'll call it here. We can continue this on Friday. We'll finish this, and we'll also finish Chiori's questline. That sounds like a plan to me. Alright, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in today. As I said, we will be continuing Genshin Impact on Friday. We're going to finish both the Chlorine story quest and the Chiori story quest that we started last week and did not finish. And on Saturday, Saturday's probably going to be more Helldivers because the new patch is finally dropping. So it's a big patch. I want to see if we manage to actually fix some things. So that's the plan for the rest of the week. Thank you all for tuning in, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week and a wonderful night. Until next time, good night, everybody. Good night.